Hi everyone, welcome back to Fictionally Unstable. I'm your host Lauren.
Maciel.
And Jess.
And today we're going to be talking about the movie Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan, Hailee Steinfeld, and then also directed by Ryan Coogler, who directed also Creed and Black Panther. Small caveat.
Okay, didn't know.
But this American horror, not really a horror, I would say, but thriller horror, starring Michael B. Jordan. He is starring as twin brothers who are named Smoke and Stack. It is set in the era of 1932 in Jim Crow, Mississippi. They are inspired to open a juke joint and in the process encounter vampires and racial obstacles. This movie that is set over a 24-hour period, it blends blues music and then also supernatural horror and cultural metaphors. So we can go ahead and start with our overall ratings of the movie and what everyone thought.
Maciel, go first.
Fudge. Damn, I never thought of my rating for this movie.
Out of 10 is our rating for movies and TV series.
Yes. Do you have a rating in mind already? Did you think about it?
I did. I can do my rating.
Okay.
While you think of yours. My overall rating was a 7.5 out of 10. I said before, I'm a very symbolic girly, so I like movies with a lot of symbolism and deeper meanings. I felt like it being to start any movie that's a vampire movie, I automatically don't care for as much, just because I feel like the depiction of vampires is pretty silly normally.
Glittering skin.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just cheesy for the most part every time. I will say this film had a better depiction of vampires than other ones, but still pretty cheesy in my eyes. But yeah, I like the storyline. I like the characters. So that's 7.5 for me.
Cool. Maciel?
I think it's between a 6.5 and a 7 for me. Only because it's not very, memorable, I guess. I mean, if it's this hard for me to really remember what I thought about the movie, I'm kind of like, it's better than most. I don't know. I was expecting something different. I will say that when I heard about it. And as I watched it, I kind of was like, okay, like, cool. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe a 6.8.
Okay. For me, in between, I'd give it a 7. I didn't know what to expect going in. I mean, all I keep hearing was horror. I'm not a big horror person. But then you were like, well, it's not really that horror. And I was like, okay. So then I watched, I was like, yeah, it's not really that horror. I mean, there's a lot of gore. I don't know. I can't even call it a lot. It wasn't that gory for me.
It wasn't really, yeah.
But I liked it. I like, number one, I like Michael B. Jordan's acting. So that was really good. I thought the story was interesting, and I also like the symbolism because it did make me think. And even though I had to look up some things afterwards on what this means and what this means, it did pull me in that sense. And I do kind of just like the, how do you say it? The way the story was told, over a 24-hour period and et cetera on that. There's one particular scene that we'll talk about later when we talk about our favorite scenes that I really like that kind of bumped it up for me as far as me giving it a 7. So yeah.
Cool. I guess I'll just go into the synopsis and the order of the movie. So at the top of the movie, the audience is told of a fable of how music has the ability to stir spirits or evil. In the opening scene, we are introduced to Sammy Moore. He is seen entering a church and he is distraught and is holding a broken guitar. He's also bloodied as well. He looks like he's been through a lot. When he enters the church, he is met with his father, who is the pastor of this church. And his father is urging him to leave the life of sitting and blues music behind. After the scene, we are flashbacked to one day prior or 24 hours prior. We're introduced to Sammy's cousins, who are two twin brothers named Smoke and Stack. They are World War I veterans, and they returned to Mississippi after being in Chicago, which is...
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
They returned to Mississippi from Chicago with pretty much money that they didn't have before because they like robbed a mob or stole from a mob up in Chicago.
Yeah, they were known for going to Chicago and joining some mobs, helping and working with them. But yeah, they stole from the mob, stole some money from them, came back to Mississippi where they had the objective to buy a sawmill from a former Klansman who is named Hogwood. And their objective is they want to turn this sawmill into a juke joint and create it as a space for people like them of the Black community to be able to come to listen to music and to have a safe space. The brothers then go around recruiting local talent in Mississippi. So their first stop is to their cousin Sammy. He is a gifted blues guitarist and he has a really great voice. So they want to be able to utilize him to provide music for the club. When the cousins go to meet Sammy, Sammy's dad does warn him not to go and urges him to join the sermon instead, but Sammy opts to go with the cousins. After Sammy, we are introduced to Delta Slim, who is a pianist. We meet him at the train station. Stack entices him to join them with exotic liquor that he's obtained from being in Chicago.
So Delta Slim pretty much he's an alcoholic.
Yes.
And he admits that, right? He's like, all I care about is alcohol and I don't care about anything else.
Yeah. He literally said, I will play the piano and just be paid in alcohol every night. And that's all he looks forward to is whenever his next drink is. While they're at the train station, we're also introduced to Stack's ex-girlfriend, Mary. Mary is, her mother is half white, half Black, which plays some significance in her character. When we're introduced to her as well, she is also a childhood friend of Smoke and Stack. And it's implied that her mother and her helped house the twins when they were no longer housed by their father. After they recruit Delta Slim, we're introduced to Annie. Annie is a cook that they want to recruit for the juke joint. She is also a voodoo specialist, and she is also Smoke's ex-lover. Smoke goes to her place to reunite with her, and we find out when Smoke is there, that his daughter died as an infant. Annie and Smoke's daughter died as an infant.
Yeah.
In that scene, they kind of rekindle their romantic relationship.
They have sex. In her little voodoo shack.
In a little voodoo shack. Yep. And then after Annie, we are introduced as well. After Annie, so Smoke goes into town and we're introduced to Grace and Bo Chow, who they run a bar and then they also offer supplies for the juke joint.
Which, let me tell you, it was really interesting to hear a Southern accent on
some
Asians.
When they go to recruit Grace and Bo Chow, Smoke goes into town and he wants a little girl to watch his truck for him while he goes in to talk to the Chows. And he basically teaches the girl the art of bargaining. And he tells her, I would like you to watch my truck. I'll pay you, I think it was 10 cents for every minute that I'm gone. And the girl says, yes. And then he said, that's not how you bargain. I'm going to teach you how to bargain. And so he says, you need to come back with me with another amount from me. So she counters with 20 cents and he says, let's make it 15. And then, so he teaches her the art of bargaining. When Smoke is inside, he hears the girl honking the horn because someone's stealing from his truck. And we find out that two men that Smoke knows are trying to steal from his truck, and Smoke shoots one of the guys and then threatens to shoot the other guy.
He shoots him in the butt.
He shoots him in the butt. Shoots one of the guys running away in the butt. And then he shoots his friend. I think they're friends, like former friends.
Probably.
It seemed like he shoots him in the foot, and his reasoning for this is that he doesn't want them going around saying that they attempted to steal from Smoke and Stack.
Well, he's like, you're going to say you were unsuccessful because no one's going to come after me again.
Yeah.
Which is funny because he does it and then he goes and like, we're going to need the doctor to come in.
And Smoke does. He pays for a doctor to come and help them and treat their wounds. After
What a man of integrity, huh?
a gangster with integrity.
Yeah.
And then after the chows, we're introduced to the final character, which is Cornbread. He is a really big guy that serves as the bouncer. We meet him in the fields of a plantation with his wife, and Stack entices him and his wife with money to recruit him to come be a bouncer for their juke joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the introductions of the main characters. Any thoughts on the intro, characters, stories so far?
I think the guitar that Sammy plays with, it's very interesting. I mean, it resembles how they played their music back in the day, but it's like it has a metal centerpiece, which I always wondered. I was like, does that help with the sound when he's playing the guitar rather than the strings? That makes sense. You guys remember what it looked like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always just thought the guitar was interesting.
It was a beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked it. What are your guys' initial thoughts on the characters? Like when they're introduced, I guess. Do you have like anything that stood out for you?
I love the names Smoke and Stack for twins. I thought that was very interesting. I do know as well, just from looking at stuff now, is their names kind of correlate with, so I don't know if you noticed in the beginning, because I didn't notice this until I rewatched it. When it shows the twins, Smoke has tremors in his hands, and so he can't roll his own cigarettes.
Yeah.
And so Stack is the one who rolls them for him. So typically we see Smoke smoking, and then Stack is the one who is stacking his cigarettes.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. That was like a interesting little detail.
Yeah.
So for me, when what is it? I get them confused. I forget who is who. Is it Stack? When Stack reunites with Mary, at first at the train station, I was like, okay, he's like avoiding her. He's not wanting to be around her. And my initial reaction was, oh, this is like, because back in that day, right? I thought that it was more like he couldn't be with Mary because I thought like his brother would have something to say about him dating a white woman. So that was like my initial thought of like why they were not together anymore. Turns out she has like a quarter black in her, but you wouldn't know it. Like it's Hailee Steinfeld. She looks fully like a white woman. So that was like my initial reaction. I was like, oh, are they not together because of like social like norms and like
I thought it was I thought the same thing. I thought she was the daughter of the family that owned him and his brother. And then they kids playing around like they've they grew up together and fell in love. That's what I thought initially.
Me too.
When I saw it.
Which she is married to a white man.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
He was like, I found you a white man to marry and something like that.
Yeah, because supposedly she was waiting for him to come back, I guess, for her. And he never came back for her.
Yeah.
And so she had to move on with her life.
Yeah.
Oh, there was, when we're getting introduced to the characters as well, there was a scene with Slim, who it kind of sets up the era of time that they're in when it comes to the Klansmen, because they pass by a group of what'd you call them? Prisoners? Not
Yeah.
Prisoners? Okay.
Yeah.
That are mining on the side of the road. And Slim knows all of them. And Sammy asks like what happened to them. And Slim basically says that they were in a music group, that there was basically the law enforcement there thought they were really talented. They would take them on tour essentially to go to different like white households to play for them. And eventually their group acquired money for themselves. And so Slim said being an alcoholic, he put all of his money back into alcohol. But the rest of them, they used their money to try to leave Mississippi and go to a different place. But when they got their train tickets, the people, I think, that were on the train. The Klan found them on the train when they were trying to leave town, and they made up a story about them killing and raping a white man and white woman in order to have one of them lynched, and then the rest of them were put in prison. And symbolism for me. Right after he tells the story, Slim starts humming because he's upset and it's like sad for him. And it was kind of symbolic that true blues music comes from the tragedy of minorities in the Black community there, because he went through something really tragic with his friends.
Yeah. Something that was obviously stemming from racial hate.
Yeah. After, in the meantime, we're introduced to all these characters. We see a white man who seems to be hurt and in danger. He looks to appear to have fallen out from the sky, basically, and arrives to a house in the middle of the nowhere. And he asks the couple who are inside the house for help. It's insinuated that he sees that they have Klan attire inside of their home. So he puts on a show and he entices them with gold to help him. After they let him into their house, the man's name is
Remnick.
After he enters their house, Native American tribe shows up and they're looking for this man. They tell the woman that the man is very dangerous and you shouldn't let him into your home. They're unable to convince her that this man is dangerous, so the Native American tribe hurries to leave as the sun is setting. And come to find out, when the woman goes back inside, the man has been bitten and turned into a vampire. And then the woman is also bitten and turned into a vampire.
And that's kind of like the start of this vampire trio that will play a role later.
So after this scene, we are brought to everyone gathering for the juke joint. Smoke and Stack get everything ready to open it to the community, where there is jazz and blues music playing, people eating, drinking, gambling. During the opening of the juke joint, Sammy's music is revealed to be somewhat of a supernatural power in a sense, and it looks to have summoned the vampires to the juke joint, and that Remick wants to essentially acquire Sammy and his talent.
Sorry, if we could pause right here, because that was my favorite scene. When he's playing, and then you see you see and hear all the different music around the world that has been inspired by jazz and blues music. And like that, like the scene where the camera's kind of like panning all around the sawmill, and there's like
it's like basically going into different eras.
Yes, different eras of music, of different people. That was my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Yeah, the narrator had said like the music pulls from past and present.
So we see like rap and hip hop music. We see like folk music. We see like a bunch of different things. That was really cool.
I did think it was very funny that when it was happening behind the bar, you just see like the girls twerking to rap music.
Yeah, I like that part. I thought it was cool.
Okay. But yes, there is a supernatural scene where Sammy is singing and his music abilities kind of surpass the present
time.
realm. Yeah.
Yeah. Transcends time.
Both
to the past and the future.
Oh, Sammy is also, he does have a romantic interest. I forget her name.
Perline,
yeah.
Yeah, she's she's married.
She is married.
And she shows up to the sawmill on her own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's also a great singer.
She is a singer as well.
Yeah.
So Sammy has his little romantic interest moment with her.
Doesn't
He
she
goes
keep
down
telling
on
him
her in
though
the
that
room.
like she claims she's not interested because he's younger, like
Yeah.
to her, right?
Well, she keeps calling him like a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't no boy.
And he shows her.
And their first interaction is at the train station.
The train station.
Yeah.
Yes. Because they were kind of playing music at the train station with Slim for like a short period.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's enticed by him at the train station.
Yes.
Once the juke joint gets started, the vampires are drawn to the juke joint and they try to gain entry by telling Cornbread the bouncer that they just want to play music and they want to come together as a community. Stack and Smoke are also at the door with Cornbread and they deny entry to the juke joint.
But in that moment, they don't understand why. Well, they know why, but they're trying to make it seem like, well, why are you denying us entry? Like, why are we playing this racial card? Because they see Mary. They're like, you let her in.
Yes.
And she's like,
And Annie says that
She's family.
she's family.
yeah.
She's like one of us, essentially.
But yeah, they think it's a racial thing and that they won't let them in due to that. But their whole shtick is that they just want everyone to come together for peace and love and happiness and make music together.
Start playing music.
And they start playing the song.
Poor Robin Clean.
Poor Robin
That was the
Clean.
song, right?
Yes, it is.
I was like, wow, this is kind of graphic. How fitting for a vampire.
So they deny entry to the vampire group. After they leave, Mary discusses with Stack that she can go out there basically to talk to them and see if they have any money that they can either make or offer to them in order to get the twins out of debt with the gang members. Because, it's found out too that the alcohol that was supplied for the juke joint came from both Italian and Irish, which are the two gangs that the twins essentially stole from. So
Some Italian beer.
some Italian beer.
Italian wine, Irish
Italian
beer.
wine,
There we go.
So Mary tells Stack that she'll go out to talk to the vampires and see what they want. During their interaction, the Remick kind of feeds into Mary's, what would I call it? Not insecurity, softer side because her mom just died. And he said that he sees sadness in her and he also shares a similar sadness. Remick basically tells Mary that he wishes he could have met her mother because he could have taken away her pain, insinuating that he could have turned her into a vampire. And he says that he can also help Mary. And Mary says, I don't need any help from you.
She gets the heebie-jeebies from him. And she
he
tries to
shows
leave.
his like teeth as well. I think his vampire teeth.
Yes.
And she gets scared. She pulls out a gun, backs away, tries to go inside, but Remick ends up.
He levitates there.
That was
End
where.
scene.
You're not getting away
That's
from
why I
me.
hate vampire depiction. Because when I saw her walking and he's just like,
You're like, oh, damn.
but Mary got, and she is now a vampire. So Mary, disguised as an ally and a friend, regains entry to the juke joint. She goes up to Cornbread, and she has to be let in, essentially, because she's now a vampire. So she goes up to Cornbread, and she's like, are you not going to let me in? And he was like, of course, you can come in. So she goes back to the juke joint, where she entices Stack to sleep with her in one of the rooms. And when Sammy goes to try to get Smoke, he sees them having sex in a room. Sammy's like, I'm not going to interrupt that. Goes back to Smoke. Smoke is like, I don't care. Go get him. So they all go.
That's
and
because
then,
a fight broke out, right?
Yes. Yeah. Somebody, I think, tried to steal from them.
He was using like extra dice, or he was like, I don't know, there was like dice or something involved. They were
for the gambling. Yeah. So they were trying to break up another fight. So Smoke and Sammy go to try to get Stack to find out that Mary had bitten him.
Just drinking his blood.
His blood. And Smoke shoots Mary a few times, is unsuccessful. She runs out and leaves the juke joint. During that scene, there was some freaky stuff going on in terms of Mary spitting
Oh, yo.
Oh,
not.
that's right. I forgot about that. I was like, ew.
He was like, you're drooling because the
Yeah. And
vampires,
she's like,
they
"You
drool
want
when
some?"
they're like hungry. And she's like, you want some?
I was like, ugh,
spits
the
in his
fuck?
mouth.
The fact that he said yes, though. He told her he wanted it. Nasty
dude.
freaks.
Freaks.
Okay.
Okay. Any thoughts?
I think because that is the myth, right? That vampires have to be let in to be able to go into any type of establishment that is owned. Because if it was still like had they not bought the mill and it was still, well, I guess it wasn't abandoned because they bought it from the
Or if they're just
Kingpin.
outside, like
But,
obviously.
yeah. They would be able to enter. But think about it. They're smart, right? They're going to say what they need to say to play it off like it's not weird that you're inviting them in. So Mary coming back in and playing with cornbread to be like, as if he was blocking the entrance, which he kind of was, but then you could walk past him, essentially.
Like, had she just walked forward, he would have moved out of the way.
Yeah. So I think their wit is, they are witty. What am I trying to say?
It was very witty.
I did laugh at when he just like elevates or levitates. I can't say my words straight.
From the background,
Yeah.
just in the air.
And she's just walking. I'm like, okay. You know what I noticed too? So the couple, the vampire couples, when he went to their cabin the first time, they looked a lot older. In a sense, right? They're like they look aged and everything. And normally it's like that myth too that there's what's the word? Because you're supposed to live forever as long as like, you know, you're not in the sun and things like that. There's like everlasting beauty.
Yeah.
So they kind of looked a lot younger in their new transform state.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Also, when he was running away from the Native American tribe, when he was going into, you know, when he knocked on their cabin or whatnot, you could see that. I mean, obviously he looked burnt, but he was burning. And so I'm like, why wouldn't you question that?
Like his skin was like smoking
Peeling
off
off.
of him.
I would have been like, no. Not letting you in this house.
where's my garlic?
But also being set in the time, they were
You're
Klansmen. And then they have either the word of him or the word of the Native Americans.
You're right.
Yeah.
They were like, I'm just going to go
I'm
with
taking the white
man.
man's word.
You right. You right.
No questions asked.
I did like the I guess short introduction of like the fact that who was after him was the Native American tribe, because obviously in Native American history they're also very big into like spirits and like
So they knew.
yeah, like those kinds of things. So it was interesting to also incorporate them.
Well, that too. And then them leaving like quickly, right? Because the sun is setting. They knew that they weren't going to have the upper hand at that moment. So nice little plays there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting now that I think about it, because they can't be in the sun. But he did come out, like he got to their house during the daylight. But he wasn't just like bursting into flames yet.
Maybe he was like in the wheat fields, like in, you know how like sometimes tall grass?
Yeah.
Like maybe he was in like
Well,
running through shade.
We'll talk about this soon, but remember they said that, what's her name? The witchy one. Annie. How she says that when you kill the most powerful one, that doesn't or the original, that doesn't necessarily mean that the rest of them will die, right?
Yeah.
So if he's the original vampire of that era, because it also like how does one become a vampire? The first one, right? How does that happen? He probably can sustain in the sun much longer than
He's
a
more
newly
powerful.
transformed vampire.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Which, I mean, we'll talk about later, because when they're like actual fights break out, I'm like, damn, this fool ain't dead yet. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
he's getting all these things and he's not dead. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
So Stack is dying in Smoke's arms.
Yes. Stack is dying after being bitten by Mary.
They don't know what to do, and
Yeah.
some people are suggesting he go outside,
Yeah.
right? But Smoke is kind of against it. He's like,
Annie
"That's my brother."
specifically, she's
Yeah.
like, you need to put him outside.
Because
Yeah.
she was like, you saw what happened to Mary. You shot her, and she got up and walked out like it was nothing. So clearly, at first, Annie says that they're haints, which I didn't. Watching it in theaters again. I need subtitles. I don't understand what's happening sometimes. So after the fact, now that I could see what she was saying. She described them as being haints, which I guess haints are similar, but they take over the body of the individual and do not leave anything left of that person's soul in the body, I guess. But she says that she urges to put Stack outside until they figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Smoke refuses.
Yeah. Smoke refuses. He says nobody's going to touch his body. So they lock Stack's body in the room that he was in. Everyone else, so those left who were not bitten come to the reality of the situation. Annie discusses that they need to stay inside until the sun comes out to figure out what's going on. Everyone else in the juke joint leaves. They all go home, essentially.
They tell everyone, party's over.
Party's over,
Y'all
get out.
gotta leave. Sending them to their death, essentially. Or
Also-
not death. Well,
yeah.
kind of.
Didn't know, unknowingly.
Yeah, unknowingly.
Also during the party, after Cornbread lets Mary in, Cornbread says he has to go to the bathroom. And so he asks Slim to watch the door. Cornbread goes out into the field and uses the bathroom. And that's when Remick also gets Cornbread and turns him into a vampire. So after all that has happened with Stack, Cornbread comes back to the juke joint and Smoke is standing in the doorway, and Cornbread said, "Are you going to let me in?" And Annie was like, wait. Why are you asking him if he's going to let you in? You're a big guy. You can push past him. You've been in and out of here all night. Why are you asking him if you can come in? And he was like, Cornbread says, well, I want to have manners. I'm being nice. And she was like, no, there's something weird about this.
There's something that he tries to
else
give
happened.
him.
he wants
yeah.
to be
give him.
paid.
He wants to be paid.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
like, well, I walked here, or you brought me here. Am I supposed to walk home? And Smoke is like, I don't care. And so Smoke gives him money. And when he goes to pay him, Cornbread grabs him and pulls him out and tries to bite him. Smoke shoots Cornbread in the face and gets back inside.
Yeah.
And then they also see there is a guest who was blacked out drunk.
Yeah. Oh.
That they thought
I felt bad for that guy.
he's on his face with it's wine, right? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
wine that was spilled around him, but they thought it was blood. They didn't check it. And so they were like, he's asleep, throw him out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the guy was completely human, just blacked out.
Yeah.
So because of that, they also think someone in the group
could be.
could be a vampire still. So anyone that wasn't turned yet
Yeah.
Yeah.
could be a vampire. So Annie was like, let's all eat this garlic because something's going to happen to you. So like Pearline, Grace, Delta Slim, Sammy, Smoke, Annie, they all eat the garlic. And
Who was the one that was opposed?
Pearline.
Oh, yeah.
And
then,
Smoke is like, take the garlic.
you better eat it,
like,
bitch.
you either eat it or I'm going to shoot you in the face.
Yeah.
And then, and then Slim takes it and he's like choking and they're like, what's going on? He's like, I drank too much. I'm so sorry.
So everybody's fine. So then that's when they throw the other guy out that was passed out.
Yeah.
Oh, they throw him out. And so he's laying on the ground. Before this, Grace's husband,
Yeah.
Right.
he says, I'm going to go get the car and we're going to leave. This is before they know what's going on outside.
Right. They want to go back to their daughter.
They want to go back to their daughter. So then once they throw that guy out, Cornbread comes and is chomping on the passed out guy
Because he wakes up.
because he wakes
And
up.
he's like, hey, let me in.
yes.
Why
He's
am I
like,
out
wait.
here?
He's like, I'm sorry.
Aw.
So they go to open the door. They're too late. Cornbread is munching on the guy. And Grace's husband walks up and he's like, let's go. I got the car. And she was like, do you not see what's going on right now?
Like
and he's
someone's
like,
been
oh, it's just Cornbread. Cornbread's hungry.
eaten. I thought that was the one. It's like, do you expect her to go with you after that?
Yeah.
Well, it's her thinking, like, it's not turning in her mind that he's a vampire. She's
Yeah.
like contemplating, like,
Maybe he's
okay,
not.
I'm going to go with you.
Yeah. And so then he reveals that he is also a vampire, obviously, and got bit. So they all go inside.
They start making weapons.
Yeah.
Well, Annie tells them, right? Like how you can defeat a
silver, right?
Silver, garlic, the stake through the heart.
Through the heart.
So they start gearing themselves up, the sun, to stay the night and basically just wait until morning. As they're all getting ready, Grace is worrying about her daughter because Remick comes up and he speaks Chinese to her, like full-on conversation in Chinese, and says that he knows where her daughter is and that they can go pay her a visit. So Grace is freaking out because she's saying, like, they're going to go to my daughter, something's wrong, and she wants to basically figure out a way to kill the vampires so she can get back to her daughter. So as everyone's preparing, Grace goes to the door, opens the door, and says, "Come on in." And so that's when the fight ensues.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
They didn't know she was going to do that either.
They didn't know she was going to do that. They were not prepared.
Yeah. She's losing her mind because she can hear him technically, right?
Yeah.
Like they're singing a song on the outside.
They're doing their little dance circle.
Doing all the things. Yeah.
Their culty activities.
And she's like having all this anxiety. And she's like, I'm going to fucking kill them all.
Yeah.
Girl.
She thinks she's going to kill them all. She was less than successful.
Yeah.
So everyone comes in. A fight ensues with everyone. Okay. Eventually, pretty much everyone except in this fight, everyone essentially gets bitten except for Sammy and Smoke. Also during this fight, I think it was Stack that bit Annie. Annie told Smoke prior to the fight ensuing that if she gets bit, he needs to kill her because after she figures out they're not haints, they're vampires. She says vampires, essentially, they occupy the body, but a part of their soul is trapped in the body. So they're not able to move on to the afterlife. So she does not want that because she wants to be with her deceased daughter in the afterlife. And so she makes Smoke promise that he will kill her if she gets bitten. So Stack bites Annie and Smoke has to drive a stake through Annie's heart. During this fight as well, I think it was Stack's thought process that he, of course, this is a better life if they all turn vampires.
Yeah.
And so he wants to turn Annie so then he can turn Smoke and they can all be a happy family.
Right. Eternal.
Also, Grace does not get bit. She dies by being burned alive.
Oh, yes.
Because she throws a make-believe fire grenade thing, whatever the thing. She throws it at the door. It engulfs the door. And as she goes to stab one of the vampires in the heart with the thing, the wooden thing, she ends up bumping into the door. I don't know. But she over here just like, the stake and the knife burning.
Yeah.
Alive. Yeah. And she killed one.
I'm going to kill all these motherfuckers.
Useless.
She killed one.
Killed one vampire.
Ironically, she was dressed as like, what is it? The Riveter?
Annie the...
Yeah.
Joan?
Joan?
Is it Joan the River?
I don't know. But like, you know.
You're thinking of Joanne Rivers. Or Joan Rivers.
No. But you know what I'm talking about. It's the...
the lady with the
thingy.
What she had like the bandana and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Hold on. What is her name?
It might be Annie, the Riveter.
It's Rosie the Riveter.
Rosie.
Nobody was right. Joan, Annie, Joanne.
Yeah.
Also, when Annie is killed by Smoke, he drives a stake to the heart. Mary is visibly upset because I think that was her chosen family, and she wanted her chosen family to be with her in the afterlife. And so then she knew that Annie would no longer be with her as a vampire.
Yeah.
So, so Sammy is able to escape. Pearline gets bitten. Smoke and Stack are facing off with each other. And then they tell Sammy to escape. So Sammy leaves the juke joint. He's running out. And then Remick flies behind him. And has a fight with Sammy. Sammy, they get in the water somehow, and Sammy starts reciting is it the Lord's Prayer?
Yeah.
Our Father who art in heaven, that one.
Yeah.
Sammy starts reciting this, and Remick basically recites it back to him, showing that whatever he is trying to do is not going to work.
He he was like, I like that one, or something like
Yeah,
that.
he's like, I like that.
Yeah.
Sammy takes his guitar and he hits Remick in the face, kind of doing some damage because he slices his face during that process. Also, Remick goes into a whole spiel, which if he hadn't gone into the spiel, he probably would have gotten Sammy, but he goes into a whole spiel about how he wants Sammy to join him because music brings people together and he would be able to add to his posse. During his long-winded speech, Smoke comes to his rescue and drives a stake through the back of Remick's heart, killing Remick. And then during that time, the sun comes out, and that's when all of the other vampires are seen burning in the daylight.
Which how does Sammy get hurt in the face? That ends up to his scars later.
In the midst of their little debacle thing in the river, he scratched him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Remick started showing like his true form with like his long claw hands and his weird face.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gets scratched.
And was it the metal in the guitar?
That
Was it silver? And it was
it was like the middle piece of it gets lodged in Remick's face.
Okay. Yeah.
So after Smoke tells Sammy to go home, Smoke is then seen getting prepared to fight with the Klansmen because it's revealed that the couple that Remick went to was the son of the man who sold the sawmill to Smoke and Stack. So they had planned for the son to go to the juke joint that night and basically murder everyone in there. So knowing that Hogwood and the Klansmen were coming, Smoke stays at the juke joint and prepares to kill all the Klansmen. The Klansman comes, he was also in the army, so he's with a sniper gun in the forest as they all come up. He kills everyone on his own, and he does get shot in the process. When he is shot, he starts to envision his dead family, Annie and his baby, as he's dying, and sees that that would be his afterlife, basically, when he dies.
And he just accepts it at this point.
Yeah, he accepts it. He's fine with his fate. He gets to be with his family.
Frickin' Hogwood is like laying there like, listen, I can give you money. He's like,
I thought that was
Shoots him, like,
funny, where
fuck
he was like reaching for his baby in the afterlife, and then Hogwood starts talking, and he's like,
he's like,
shut up.
Wait, so did Hogwood know that his son turned into a vampire?
No.
Oh, that was just their idea that they were going to come and kill them?
So yeah, I think that they thought everyone was still just going to be in there, but they get there and the door is locked, and then nobody else is there. After this scene with Smoke, we're brought back to the first scene where Sammy goes back to his family and enters the church where his father is giving the sermon. After the scene, Sammy inevitably makes a decision to leave his hometown because he wants to continue his career in music. After Sammy leaves, we are then fast forwarded to 1992, where Sammy is a successful blues musician. After he plays his set in wherever bar or lounge he's in, he's the only one there at that bar along with the bartender. We are then introduced back to Stack and Mary, who did not die with the other vampires. They managed to escape during the whole fight, and they come to the lounge to visit Sammy. Stack offers to Sammy that his time of living is almost up. He knows that Sammy is basically in his last days, and so he offers to turn him into a vampire, which Sammy declines. And at the very end scene, Sammy is seen playing true blues music for them one last time.
Yeah, important to note that Smoke spared Stack.
Yes.
During their fight. In exchange, Smoke had Stack promise that he wasn't going to disturb Sammy.
Yes.
So he was going to let Sammy live out his life.
Yeah.
And he fulfilled that promise until...
He did fulfill that promise and only came back to offer one last time.
Yes.
If he wanted to.
Yep.
In that scene too, Stack it does seem like he's met with regrets of it in a way, because he said he hasn't seen the sun since that last day. I think he said like that night was the best, like his
night
last
of his life.
Yeah. His last best memories, basically. And that is the end of the movie.
And that is a detailed breakdown of what happened
24 hours.
in relatively
A mere 24
order.
hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, so that, sorry, in comparison to that, well, I'm sorry, that in comparison to other movies, they had the entire duration of the movie is 1 day, right? That is like, there's not much else that you can put
In a day.
in a day.
Yeah.
So that right there, if people were to say, oh, I wish they could have added this, added that, like sometimes if there's like, let's say stories that aren't really being told, it's like it's 24 hours.
We
Like
only
that's
have
enough.
so many flashbacks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think it was told well for it being, you know,
Just that
the
24 hour
time
period.
frame that it,
Okay. So lots of themes and symbolism and metaphors in this movie. If we want to talk about those.
I just list them off. So some of the themes that we saw was the exploitation of Black art, and it critiques how Black creativity, especially music, is exploited. In that the vampires do kind of represent white audiences and record labels who want to feed on Black culture without honoring its origins. So that's seen kind of in Remick saying that he basically wants to use Remy's talents to acquire his own goals of building an army of vampires.
Right.
they can't do them themselves.
So essentially like musicians, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, sorry, I just wanted to say this now that, because I have the thought in my head and it's going to leave me. But I didn't think about it at the time or until we started going through the ending, that was also, in my eyes, I see it as a symbolism for blues being a dying art now that I look at it, right? And that's why Stack returned to offer him this one last salvation, like, give me your talent and I can preserve it, right? Like, I can keep it preserved through other forms of music or whatever. And ultimately, Sammy still continues to decline because he wants to keep it, I guess, essentially like pure or to hit to what he knows blues and jazz music to be. So
Yeah.
I just thought of it now. I was like, oh, now it's kind of all tying together, you know?
Well, that's kind of like the argument in terms of like country music is that a lot of country music stems from blues and jazz. And although people say that country is a predominantly white dominated genre, it stems a lot from the blues that was created by Black individuals that specialize in that type of music.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, the ending was symbolic in a sense that like he's offering you kind of one last chance of preserving that that style, I guess, or something like that.
When you think about it too, though, it kind of is like when we think back to the scene as he's singing in the sawmill and it's showing all the different eras that is influenced by blues music. It's it kind of goes to show like you can try your best to preserve it, but no matter what, it's going to evolve into other things.
Something
With
else.
time and culture changes.
Yep.
Another theme that was seen was duality and identity. With Smoke and Stack, they kind of represent two different paths. One seeking more community and justice, which would be Smoke, while the other is seeking more power and assimilation, which would be Stack. Kind of the themes of resistance versus survival or tradition and ambition.
Right. So Smoke is one for, I guess, like staying true to his roots and his community and tradition, and kind of represents resisting the chance or the temptation to assimilate. Whereas Stack is the opposite, right? He wants just like, I don't want to say he wants to fit in, but like he wants to be on the other side, essentially.
He wants to
be accepted,
grow with the times,
right?
And like conform in a sense to what's going on.
He's focused more on like surviving, like what's going to help me get through these times that we're in, as far as like all the segregation and racial discrimination and things that are going on.
I also think too, because one thing between Stack and Smoke is that Stack, when he was talking to Sammy, he would tell Sammy, like, you know, you can have big dreams of being this huge musician with amazing talents. And then Stack is the one who said, because they gifted the guitar to Sammy, and Stack told Sammy that that guitar formerly belonged to a very popular musician. But then towards the end, Smoke reveals that this guitar actually belonged to their father. But their father beat Stack and Smoke when they were younger, and they ran away from home, and that's when they ended up living with Mary. And so Smoke presents the idea to Sammy about just going back to his plantation and filling in his father's footsteps of becoming a pastor, because he has the opportunity to have that type of life. But Sammy obviously ultimately decides to become a musician.
It was Smoke that told him, like, you're not playing here ever again, right?
Yeah. Smoke was on the side of like wanting to protect Sammy, and then Stack was on the side of wanting him to
pursue his
dream.
Yeah.
Okay. Another theme that was found was music as a power. Blues music is seen as a sacred and supernatural in this movie. Sammy's guitar also becomes a weapon and an act of resistance in the process. And then another one would be racial terror. Of course, being set in Jim Crow, Mississippi times, we're met with the realities of the racism during that time, as well as physical violence when it comes to the Klansmen, and then psychological terrors, which is the vampire, and the idea that you can have a hive mind mentality, or you can continue with what you're facing in reality.
Just some some metaphors that were seen in the movie was that turning into a vampire essentially meant you were selling out, right? So you were going through this type of cultural conversion from one side to the other. So, for example, Stack obviously ends up turning to gain power and to escape pain, hence him assimilating. And then another metaphor is the music as magic and weapon. It unites people at war's evil, that type of metaphor.
Yeah.
I think.
I thought it was interesting that the only, their ultimate demise, or the initial person who was at fault for turning them, was the only white person. Mary.
Oh, yep. Yep.
Okay, so I told my favorite scene of that one part. Did you guys, are you guys in the same boat?
I'm trying to think if I have a favorite scene. I'm not sure if I do. I like the town scene, I guess. I do like Smoke's interaction with the little girl, like teaching her something. I mean, it's just different. I don't have a favorite scene, to be honest, of the whole movie.
Yeah, I like the town scene, and I liked the final scene when Smoke killed the Klan members because it was hot.
Yeah. When he's like in his tank top and like,
Michael B. Jordan.
Actually, now thinking about it, I do like the very last scene where Sammy, again, he doesn't conform. Like, he stays true to his nature. He lived out his dream, and he's like, when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Like,
you know what the ending scene reminded me of? It reminded me of Soul, the Disney movie.
I didn't watch that.
The Disney. Oh, you guys didn't watch that one? The Disney Pixar movie.
I think so. No, I haven't.
He's also a jazz musician, and it reminded me of that. So Stack and Smoke made very different choices. Do you think one was right, or are they both victims of the same system? I don't think one was right.
I don't think one was right. I don't know if I want to say they're victims of the same system. I think they made very logical choices for what they wanted their future to be.
Agreed. Yeah. I think it's just what they wanted at the time. Right.
I agree.
And people can say, oh, like, Stack sold out or whatever, but if that's what he wanted, then that's what he wanted. And like, if that's what he thought was going to bring him happiness, essentially, and then have that.
And they both ended up with basically like the loves of their lives in the end. Yeah. Because technically Stack was able to live out his life with Mary, and Smoke went to the afterlife with Danny.
Yeah.
So they both kind of got their endings of kind of what they wanted in a sense.
And if you think about it too, I mean, of course, it could only be at night, but he essentially, Stack, is what the most powerful creature as what we know in terms of this movie. So essentially, he's not part of the inferior anymore. You know, he can make whatever life he wants, which he did with Mary, but he can do whatever it is that he wants without feeling like that something will get stripped away from him.
Yeah.
Unless he gets killed, of course, as a vampire, but whatever.
The vampires ask for permission to enter. Is that a metaphor for cultural appropriation? And if so, who's responsible for letting them in? Crazy word. This would take me a hot minute to think about. I don't know if cultural appropriation is the right word.
I don't think it is either. Because I feel like if you're being metaphorical about it, it would be as if the people inside of the juke joint are like the different cultures, and them inviting them in would be them sharing their culture with others. I think that more so the vampires would represent something like culture vultures, where they show an interest in a culture, but then they're twisting it in order to fit what they feel is appropriate and how they want to utilize it.
Well, they're gonna want to morph it into what appeals to the white people, right?
Yeah. And that was something too that, like, because Remick, he came from like a, predates their time, whatever. Like, he's lived many ages. So in his sense, he was saying, I don't understand the race thing. He's like, I don't understand what racism is. I surpass time. I have seen so many different races. And so for me, it didn't really correlate with him. So I think also that him saying that is like, when people say like, I don't see race, I don't see color. It's, although he doesn't experience or practice racism in himself, he is still practicing racism by opting to use people for their talents or gifts based off of their races.
Who's responsible for letting them in?
Cornbread.
I mean, I think it's more so of, okay, if we're looking at it not metaphorically, right? So is it Mary or is it Grace? It's who benefits from what, right? Grace only cared about her daughter. She didn't care about anybody else. She only cared about her daughter. So to let them in was her way of revenge, in the sense of, I'm going to try my best to protect my daughter, which she didn't do shit.
Literally useless.
And then Mary used it in her way of coercing. I can't ever say that word, but she knew that she would get in his head, right? Because like I said, when she got to the door, she knew what to say to Cornbread to allow herself in. She's like, I'm already in, so I know how to play it. You know what I mean? So still, she used it to her benefit.
I think it goes back to her being both races and her kind of playing to
Either side.
Both sides.
both sides. Yeah.
Metaphorically, though, like, who's responsible of cultural appropriation, essentially? I think it's just those that, what's the saying? What the fuck is the saying? To be not out of sight, out of mind. Ignorance is bliss. It's those individuals, right? That are kind of, to them, they don't see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So they're just like, it's fine. You can,
it's just an outfit.
it's just an outfit.
hairstyle.
It's just a hairstyle. It's just an accent. It's just a word. It's those people. Those
Kind
are
of diminishing the significance,
the behavior,
of what it is. Yeah. What would the modern day version of this story look like? Who would be the vampires in this modern day 2025?
MAGA.
Yeah. I mean, hive mind. Hello. Cannot think for yourself.
Right.
Hello.
Glad I wasn't the only one that thought it, but yeah.
I think it definitely would jump into politics. So what would modern day version? Politics, what we're in right now, what America is going through right now.
Yeah.
You're either far left or far right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's kind of, yeah.
And I think having whether it's far left or far right, having a hive mind mentality is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Not being able to think for yourself or have your own opinion and only basing it off of what you see in media or what other people tell you.
Mm-hmm. When I first read this question, I actually thought social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also very, it's the same thing too. It's like when people are on social media all day, you tend to conform to whatever opinion you see online.
Yeah.
And the way now too, the algorithm,
it's
you
gonna
look at one
feed you,
thing and it just feeds you
that same opinion over and over and over.
which is not, you don't fact check, like all that.
You got to be able to think for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just follow everything. Because even the same thing, just for example, influencers, when they tell you one thing about a product and you believe everything that they say, and then you get the product and you're like, well, this is ass. Like, you got to be able to do your own research and think for yourself. And so that's why I was like, social media for sure in this
technology, right? Now we're going into the world of AI.
Oh, God.
So that's another hurdle.
Yeah. My mom would be like, look at this cool thing. I was like, Mom, that's AI. Don't believe everything you see. Sorry.
What's crazy is, if we decide to have children, but the next generation from us will be the generation that won't know the difference between AI and real life.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder to distinguish for real. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll have just grown up with both and will have to believe whatever they feel to believe.
Right. Which is kind of scary.
Yep.
Do you think the movie itself favors killing the vampires or joining them?
Well, as an audience member, I was favoring killing them.
Yeah.
I feel like I shouldn't say no one. I feel like there's only a few.
No one really willingly joined them.
No.
Everyone was very much like they were trying to resist as long as possible type of person.
Yeah, I was trying to think, is there anybody that like willingly did it? No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So it's either
sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
The assimilation sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
I
I thought it would have been interesting if they did have a character that willingly
joined.
I think that would have made a better argument of like, well, maybe it's not so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, because no one really willingly went there. Do you think a part of a person's humanity is still intact even after they turn vampire? Yes.
I think
And that's seen with Mary, right? She
think-
wanted that family and community with Annie, and she was distraught when she was like actually fully killed versus being turned.
I think also Stack. He
In
was
the
looking
end.
out for Sammy.
Yeah, I think that he kept his word and his integrity of not bothering Sammy.
Yeah. With a title like Sinners, how do you think the film highlighted the significance of certain sins? Well, Slim was an alcoholic,
Yeah.
so
Slim
almost
was
like
a
a sin of
drunkard.
gluttony, right?
Perline, infidelity.
Yep.
And it's actually same thing with Mary, both infidelity.
Grace, I guess, would be kind of like wrath, right? Revenge. She's very clouded by that type of... She was very angry, obviously, towards the end. Wanting revenge.
Those two thieves in town.
Oh, yeah.
Ones that got shot in the butt and the foot.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we see a lot of infidelity. We see alcoholism.
You see, what is it? Dishonesty. The vampires.
Yeah. Sins all around. Sins for everybody. In the intro, the narrator states music attracts evil. Why do you think this statement is important in this film, and how was it displayed? I think music is something that's almost like a universal language. Almost everyone loves music. And that attracts evil in a sense because people are always going to want to exploit it and profit off of it and do something within that sense. I guess that could be how it attracts evil, right?
I did see there was something that was
It
it
took up a lot of room.
Chloe Bailey?
Ariel, Little Mermaid. Chloe Bailey.
That's Halle Bailey.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I was like,
Chloe Bailey's the other sister. She had said that the movie reminded her of the entertainment industry and how that when you find talent, even though it attracts good and even if its intentions are good, that there are constantly people trying to exploit it for their own doings. So it was definitely a symbolic movie of the entertainment industry for sure.
For sure. Okay, kind of last fun question. What movie or show created your favorite depiction of vampires?
Twilight.
What other depiction is there?
The diamond skin.
Oh, well, there's
Vampire Diaries.
So
that's
Vampire
mine.
Diaries.
I had some listed. So Vampire Diaries, Twilight, Abigail, the ballerina movie.
My God, I hated that movie.
Nosferatu is one.
True Blood is an
True
original.
Blood.
You know what mine is? Hotel Transylvania.
Midnight Mass.
That's a good one.
They actually turn into bats in Hotel Transylvania.
It's real.
I mean, the
real.
original vampire is Dracula.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen that.
So, or I guess I never watched it, but for anyone that watches anime, there's another one called Castlevania. So that's another vampire depiction. Yeah, I don't have a favorite. The one that stands out the most is Twilight.
It's the skin of a killer, Bella.
I'm sparkly.
I like Vampire Diaries. One, because it seemed more realistic. They can't come out in the sun. And then they have to be invited inside. They can't just enter.
Yeah.
Right.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Also, there's that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that either.
Yeah.
And then their weakness is well, for them, they're like, oh, the garlic thing, that's not a real thing. Like garlic, the stake at the heart is, but it's vervain. They can't consume or be around because then
What is that?
it drains their being, the vampire, so it makes them weaker. So vervain is like a plant. But it's think like valerian is I'm sorry, vervain is not the thing, it's valerian. They call it vervain, but I think it's supposed to resemble valerian. Valerian is a plant. It helps with helps you make you sleepy. So if I take valerian tea, that shit knocks me out more than
really?
Motrin. Not Motrin. What is it?
Melatonin.
Melatonin. See, girl, I need food.
I was like,
A
sure,
full meal.
Motrin could knock you out. Why not?
Melatonin obviously knocks you out, but valerian, that will keep me out for a long time. Yeah.
I've never tried that before.
haven't
Maybe I need it if I need a good night's sleep.
If I have insomnia, I'll take valerian, but I try not to because it makes me super groggy the next day. Yeah.
All right. Any last final thoughts on the movie?
We were saying this earlier when we had that small break. I think Michael B. Jordan did an amazing job.
He did really well.
Yeah.
He portrayed both characters completely differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like actors, when they have to play the twins, or they have to play, it doesn't need to be twins. It can just be
Like two characters.
two characters. Like you're kind of like, okay, why don't you get two separate actors?
You know who couldn't do it? Blake Lively.
She had to play three people too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he did a really good
he
job.
did amazing in his role. I thought it was very believable.
Yeah,
the
she did.
aesthetic of everything I thought was well done. The costumes,
The setting.
the setting.
Overall, really good movie.
Yeah. Deep thought movie.
Deep thought movie, makes you think. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe you just watched it for the vampires. They're cool.
I did not. When I saw the trailering for it, I thought it was just an action movie. I did not know it was about vampires.
Yeah.
Before I saw it.
One of my friends told me about it. So I watched it to just watch it. I wasn't thinking. So I didn't have much to contribute to the discussion because I was like, oh, I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening. If you have watched Sinners, let us know your opinion on it. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Fictionally Unstable Pod. Let us know if you have any other suggestions of any movies. And that's all we have.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Till then, embrace the instability.
Yep. Forget every time. Bye.
Bye as well.